to the Luke and the Pete Show. It is Thursday the 7th of May. I'm Pete Donaldson, and I'm joined by Mr. Lukey Moore. Lukey, how the devil are you doing in this fine weather we're having?
It's great, isn't it? Doesn't it make such a difference?
It does make such a difference. I have ruined the garden, though. I've knocked my wall down. I was talking about this on a show a couple of weeks ago.
Right. That
I was planning on knocking a wall down and installing some balustrade.
Yeah, you've said it. It's been very exciting. What's the latest development then? You just sacked it off, or you got
knocked the wall down. Knocked the wall down, so it's quite dangerous now. That's probably going to stay there for a little while. I've got some iron. I've got some rebar, some steel rebar. I'm going to put in the cement and fill the cavity wall with cement, so that it's nice.
You are doing your own Fred Dibner. We talked about Fred Dibner on Monday.
I'm doing my own Fred Dibner. Yes, I'm doing my own Fred Dibner. That's right. Yeah,
but in a very specific way. We make that very clear.
Sarah's annoyed with me. I will get her back. I'll get it back in the second half, Luke. I will have this wall up as soon as I can. But right now, it is quite treacherous.
Yeah. It does sound like it's perhaps a job too far.
No, it's not. It'll be fine. I can do the wall bit. I'll do the plastering bit, I reckon. Just got to make sure. I can get the old nails in the wall. I think everything's pretty straightforward from here on. The knocking down of the wall was a right old shit. I had to get a big saw and I had to spray water into the saw to make it the diamond tip kind of bit kind of cut the wall in the right sort of place.
Yeah, I just don't think you should be doing this.
But the problem is the water was going inside the drill, and I was getting like electric shocks off the drill. Not ideal.
No. Can you just stop it?
But we got the wall down. I bought a big lump hammer. I am a man with a hammer now. I've knocked it all down, and it's looking. Look, as walls being knocked down, I've discovered a lot of rot in the decking. So that's another thing I've got. It's another thing I've got to deal with. So I think everything's gone pretty straightforward so far.
It doesn't sound like it. On the Fred Dibner thing, because we talked about him on Monday. Have you seen that video where he's at the top of that chimney just knocking it down by hand?
Yeah, absolutely wild.
It is extraordinary, isn't it? What is it, like late 70s maybe?
Yeah, and it'd be like me. I had to knock down probably 15 breeze blocks, and that nearly did me in.
He's about 300 feet in the air.
I know.
And he's got this weird wooden contraption that he's just put up around the chimney, and he's just knocking these bricks off one by one.
Just relying on the the handiwork of the people who put the chimney up. It's
he climbs up
insane.
It, no ropes.
Yeah, no.
Nothing.
It's like that bloke on Blue Peter who climbed up Nelson's column on that little sort of wool. It looked like wool rope. It was absolutely insane.
When was that?
That was in. There's the famous Blue Peter thing. It wasn't John Craven. Whoever was on Blue Peter in the 80s, in his bell bottom trousers, he climbed up Nelson's column to clean it. I don't know. It's John Knox. It's one of those kind of like guys who kind of probably on the lip of probably around about the time John Lennon got shot.
That was 1980 December.
Yeah, he was climbing up the old. He was climbing Nelson's column. Absolutely. Can you imagine the smell of bird shit up there?
The reason I know that was December in 1980 is because my mum once described 1980 for her personally as a mixed bag because I was born but John Lennon was shot. And I was like, well, I think on balance it should be a good year, surely.
Yeah. No. Two wrongs don't make a right.
I think that might be subconsciously why I've always had a negative impression of John Lennon.
Do you reckon? Okay, fair.
I just always feel like he comes across like the worst guy, but I think it might be because my mum said that.
That's a.
It was in December 1980. I know it was definitely because it's stuck in my mind.
Yeah, I was going to say. Speaking of the 80s, when I was at home with my parents having arguments about the Troubles, with my dad, my mum gave us like a load of like. Bits of paper, like when you go home, your mum gives you, like, you basically hands over seemingly the 5th record of achievement you owned as a teenager.
Yeah, I always get that.
Full of guff and certificates and EdXL history A level fucking awards and stuff.
Yeah.
So some of the pages illuminated reading. I didn't actually get an A star at GCSE in RE. I only got an A.
Oh, what?
And I've been telling everyone for 20 years that I got an A star. I've upgraded it in my mind.
No one cares, do they?
gutted. Certainly not in. But I mean, I would say it's a proper RE course in Catholic school. I mean, it's proper. Like,
could you get A stars then? I thought A stars came in later.
I think you could get A stars at GCSE at that point. Yeah.
Right. Okay.
I'm saying I could go toe to toe with the man we mentioned on the last show, Russell Brand, with Bible verse.
Well, you couldn't remember how Jesus died.
I think it's complicated. Because they don't sort of talk about, like, if you went to a non-denominational school, they just talk about rolling away the stone and then he comes out and stuff. But it's all kind of like in Catholic school, it's all tied together with, original sin and fucking purgatory and all that fucking bollocks. And where did stillborn fucking fetuses go and all that fucking dark shit. You got nuns and fucking priests bombing around the halls. Pissed. Anyway, I had a school report.
Sorry, are you back at your parents now? Is this? Sorry.
I had a school report in my record of achievement, and it's really bummed me out, Luke.
Oh, all right.
It was a very bad school report. One of the GCSE years.
What subject?
Pretty much every subject, apart from art.
Mine weren't great. Mine reports were.
But they were just all. It was just all like, even like the ones that were like trying to be charitable, sort of saying Pete needs to, if he doesn't understand something in mathematics, he needs to sort of. It was advanced. It was the advanced class or something. But he was saying Pete keeps pretending he understands stuff when he doesn't. It's like, and it really bummed me out. It
That's
really
harsh.
made me go. It really made me feel like. My whole life's been a lie, and I've just been underachieving my whole life. It really,
but if you think
it really
about
made
it,
me
if you were
sad
a teacher,
inside.
if you were a teacher and you took
Yeah.
a dislike to a student, you still like the cut of their jib or whatever,
Aye.
would you lay it on thick or would you be fair?
You'd like to think that you would, you'd have a bit, you'd be able to sort of rise above it all, but maybe
I don't
not.
think you would,
Maybe
though, would you?
just
You've
go-
got
no, maybe you'd
like
just
100
go-
students and you've got a fucking hangover.
Yeah,
you're going to be like, he's a little prick.
Yeah,
He's getting it.
but I said Mr Braithwaite was very charitable. I like Mr Braithwaite, but he was just. I mean, I dropped it as soon as I could at maths. Fuck that. I'm not taking that on A level. But yeah,
you
even
had to
like,
take it
even
for
at
GCSE though, right?
Yeah, even at GCSE, you just. I think I got a B in the end. But
I
like,
got a C in
even-
GCSE maths and I was absolutely over the moon with that.
Yeah, but it was just every lesson was just like he doesn't work hard enough. He doesn't just all this stuff, and I'm like, it's really, it's really bummed me out.
It's also.
How couldn't I have had 2 or 3 of them? One saying that I was doing all right. And
What
then
did you
the
get in your A
rest were just
levels? What did you get in your A levels in the end?
ABC.
That's good. It's much better than me.
It's more than I needed for fucking De Montfort. I'll give it that.
Yeah, and you didn't
But, like,
graduate
all
De Montfort
my-
either, did you?
No, it's a good point actually. Good point. But the A level, were all like predicted, like fails, ungraded and stuff, and
Yeah.
A in history, B in English. That's all right, isn't it?
I got
That's all right.
4 Bs, 4 Cs, 2 Ds at GCSE, and I got 2 Ds in a U at A level.
Yeah.
So,
Look, you just need to get into university, innit?
but the thing is, I genuinely, and you're going to laugh at me for this, right? And so are our listeners. But I need to be honest. I genuinely think some of my reports were bad at A level because I was much funnier than the teachers.
Much more confident than the teachers.
Yeah, and they were vexed about it.
Yeah. Yeah.
They were like, this kid's
but-
obviously going to go places,
Yeah.
and my life
Right.
is rubbish. So
It's just two. It's just two different men, isn't it? With two very different outlooks.
Yeah.
I read one bad school report from 20 odd years ago, and I'm having a fucking crisis.
yeah, I honestly, at the time I was gutted about it,
Right.
but now I'm like, yeah, whatever. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I read quite a lot of. But the one thing I did, I think I might have told you this before, but I was able to somehow manage to convince my parents that we didn't get reports at our school.
Right.
And I used to
Amazing.
intercept them and hide
Didn't
them.
Didn't your sister go to your school?
No, but she's much younger, so she left she started after I left.
Oh, they've just started doing reports now. Honest.
Yeah, but then I
Amazing.
also used to intercept the referrals home and the detention notices and stuff like that.
Right. Yeah.
So
I didn't have the balls. I just thought my house of cards would fall down. But again, I've said it before. The world belongs to you.
It came crashing down to earth when the PE teacher, the new PE teacher, was was basically my mate's mum.
Right. Yes.
And so
okay.
my mum was basically in contact with her. And every time I got a detention with PE, she would just tell her. So,
how are you getting a detention in PE? What's the technique there?
But it would be anything from kind of really innocuous stuff like forgetting your kit to like or repeatedly forgetting your kit to like, you know, talking or back chatting or whatever, the usual stuff you'd expect of me, I guess, like back chatting and, you know, stupid jokes and stuff. But the one thing I would say is that so fairly recently a friend of mine took a job at a very nice public school, one of the most expensive public schools in the country. Yeah. And in the Easter holidays, I went to go visit him. I was meeting him, and he said, "Meet me at my work. You come and have a look around, and we'll go where we're going." So I did. I mean, it was unbelievable. It was basically like Hogwarts. And it did get me... And look, fine, whatever. You know, I'm not going to have a debate about private schools, but whatever. But it did get me thinking that... you just reminded me of it because you mentioned maths. When I went to... Right, genuinely, when I went to comprehensive senior school, so like year 7 to year 11, I remember having to go to toilet all the way over in the maths block because that was the only toilet with toilet paper in it. I don't think that's going to be the problem at some of the best public schools in the country.
No.
So the divide is huge.
And the thing that annoyed me about visiting my mate in Peterhouse College, Cambridge, was that I was meeting people with the exact same exam results as me. We've said it before. We spoke about this before. But going to Cambridge or Oxford or even like Durham and stuff, that was kind of like set up to sort of say, well, you know, you need to be one of the prefects in the school. That sort of level, you know, somebody who's, you know, really, really achieving a lot, and to be quite frank, arse kissing the fucking teachers, to even be considered to even go to even be, you know, go for a meeting for Cambridge or
Peterhouse is the oldest Cambridge college as well.
Is it right? Okay, yeah.
My
mate went, and he was one of the, you know, the richest kids in our school, and you know, one of the high achievers in English and history and stuff. And he went there and he had a terrible fucking time. So
yeah, well, I've heard plenty. I know plenty of people who've been there and had the same thing. I know Cambridge University pretty well because my wife went there, but it's not for everyone, is it? I mean, it can be incredibly intimidating if you're 18 years old. I mean, fucking hell, it's not rocket science to see that could be really...
No. But it does annoy me when Alex Gonzala, who had to resit all his exams, and I don't think he got that many good exams in A-level, he just swanned into Lancaster, who has, like, porters and little colleges, and they've got their own little sort of... It's like a campus university, and, like, me, who had to travel 2 miles to get to bloody university every morning...
De Montfort's not great,
not even Stanley Road, from Stanley Road up the way. I was just kind of, and that's another thing. Somebody I think pointed out on.
You were on the poster for De Montfort, though. Can Gonzala say that?
Yeah, exactly. Good point, actually. No, he was on the darts team, and that's it. he was on the pool team, and that's it.
Nice. Yeah, I mean, you're on the poster for De Montfort University, mate. It doesn't get any better than that.
No,
it does not get any better than that.
Good point.
Peter, let's have a break. When we come back, we've got to do some correspondence from our lovely listeners, okay? And they should get in touch with their university stories. We haven't had any of those for ages. That would be lovely.
Good point. Welcome back to the Luke and Pete show. I'm Pete Donaldson, and I'm joined by correspondence.
Yes. Yeah, should we do a battery first? We've got a battery in here.
Let's do a battery. Oh, yeah, we've got a battery. Lovely
you do
stuff. Lovely. Okay, Ewan's got in touch. Morning, chaps. Previous email about the Sauna World Championships here.
Nice.
Making a submission for the Battery Daddy. Some Kenstar batteries found in a handheld fan. Kenstar, stay cool. Ewan, I like the logo. It's very basic, like a serif font, and it's pretty classic.
What's a serif
Kenstar
font? What does that mean?
It's basically a font that looks like that. I forget what. Let's have a look. Serif font.
There are many different serif type of fonts, right?
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah, it just basically looks like that. It's a serif typefaces can be. Oh God,
we're going down a rabbit hole here.
It looks like that. It's a serif font.
Kenstar,
anyway.
You say? Well,
yeah.
Listen. Thank you for filling what I was checking. Kenstar has in fact been seen once before.
Only once? Wow.
But they were Kenstar Super Heavy Duty. Our friend Fergus sent those back in June of 2024. So technically speaking, if you want to adjudge it so, Peter, you have the authority to call this a brand new player because they're just Kenstar. They're not Kenstar Super Heavy Duty.
No. You know what, Luke? I don't think we can have that. I
All
appreciate I appreciate
Hard
him
taskmaster,
mustering.
you.
Yeah, I appreciate you and mustering, but I think we really have to stop at the word Ken Star. I think in this particular case.
Fair enough.
But, yeah,
Otherwise, it's a bit of a
very much.
technicality, isn't it?
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Completely agree.
All right. What about this from on YouTube? One of the comments on our YouTube videos, which caught the notice from Mary. Hello to you, Mary. She's talking about Malort. Remember? Should I give you a quick refresher on Malort? It's a was it a wormwood-based spirit that is a Chicago specialty.
Yes.
A bit of a rite of passage in Chicago.
Quite a recent phenomenon as well.
And we mentioned that when we were in Chicago doing a live ramble show, our lovely attendees took us to a couple of bars and they insisted that we get the Malort down us, which we did, and it was dreadful.
Terrible friends.
Mary says there's a bar in New Orleans called... in fact, in America they call it New Orleans, don't they? New Orleans.
They call it the rising sun.
Thank you very much for that worthy interjection. Mary says there's a bar in New Orleans called Pep's Pub.
Pep's Pub?
Where they take a Polaroid of you while drinking Malort, and then you have to write down what you think it tastes like, and they hang it on the wall.
Lovely.
It's fun to read what everyone likens it to. We thought when we had it, it tasted like rotting cut grass smells like. I think that's a fairly accurate... description, actually, Mary, so thank you for that. I'm not a man who has like shots of alcohol these days. I don't think I've actually been drunk since my son was born, and that's getting on for 3 years ago now.
Okay, that sounds like a challenge.
I don't think you can say the same, can you, Peter?
No, I can't. I've got issues. So we're in. So Pep's Pub is. It's not on. What's the major? What's the main street where everybody drinks in? It's off.
What is it? I can't remember.
Bourbon Street.
That's
Street.
right. Yeah.
So the drink that everybody seems to drink there is the hand grenade, which is a big stupid green drink that's served in like a grenade sort of thing. But Pep's
Is it pronounced
Pub
Bourbon
is
Street?
I think so. Yeah, Bourbon.
You said Bourbon.
Really
I think Bourbon's a biscuit, isn't it?
Did they? I just always and I should preface everything like this, sort of saying I always do this. Never a good thing. I always do a lot of stuff. Red Brick Universities, we talked about this before. Somebody pointed out that Red Brick University, I was using it like Red Brick Universities being Oxford, Cambridge, Durham, the big ones.
Right.
But it's not. It's Red Brick is the down at heel, the more down at heel ones compared to the old ones.
So my university is a Russell Group university, right? Is that different?
What's that? Oh, I think just Red Brick indicates not one of the major 2 or 3. Not one of the big boys.
Okay.
So there we go.
Well, I went to University College London, which is a very, very good university, Peter, and I thank you very much for mentioning that.
Where was your campus? Middlesex. They put campuses all over the place.
Gordon Square, Bloomsbury. Thank you very much.
Oh, lovely stuff. Is that not where SOAS is? Bloomsbury?
Yes, it's near there.
SOAS versus that university.
I was at the Institute of Americas in University College London, right on Gordon Square.
Nice. There's a good Japanese garden, SOAS. I think it's still there.
SOAS is a brilliant campus. It's really interesting to walk around.
I do recommend if you go to. I love New Orleans, and I'm gutted that WrestleMania wasn't in New Orleans.
I've never
it
been.
was
I'd love to
briefly
go.
in New Orleans, and try and get off the grid and try and sort of go to some of the more hipstery parts of those kind of places, and it's absolutely lovely. Oh, beautiful! I'm just looking at street maps of Bourbon Street and all over the place.
Very nice.
Yeah,
I mean,
great stuff.
Notorious BMT on Ramble Discord. There's a little Luke and Pete Show channel on the Ramble Discord. He says. On the subject of saxophone solos, what I said a couple of shows ago is I said that the song that opens with a saxophone solo is the hallmark of a confident songwriter.
Yeah.
Notorious BMT says 2 good sax solos on 2 Bruce Springsteen songs, Prove It All Night and Jungle Land. The live version of Jungle Land at the No More Nuke show, probably the peak. I have to confess here, and this could be a gap in my knowledge, it could just be that I'm a man of impeccably poor taste, and I'm happy to accept either charge. I'm not really a Springsteen guy. I don't really go in for the boss. I understand that we need to have him. I think it's good that he exists. Several of his songs I like, but I know people get obsessed with him. So Alex Siegel, who runs Into Talent, a talent agency we occasionally work with, he is obsessed with Bruce Springsteen. He goes to watch him like 5 times a year. For me, he's not that kind of artist. I can't get stuck into him more than a song or two. The big hits, basically.
I think basically you have to. I think The River is beyond reproach as an album.
A lot of his songs are beyond reproach, I'm sure.
But I think with him, he's been going on a long time.
He looks great.
His live shows. It looks amazing. His live shows are can descend into jazzy, bluesy kind of like wig outs, which I find tedious. And also, I find that there's just too much stuff. He's just written too many songs, really. I think. And
didn't he get the plug pulled on him at the Emirates a couple of years ago?
He did, yeah. That was I interviewed him once. Did you? At the end of his.
You've interviewed the boss.
I've basically there was at the end of his sound check in Oslo. We got to ask one question each with our little dictaphones on the ends of our outstretched arms.
Did you make it count?
As he kneeled down. I've told the story before, but the guy next to me who I was with, who managed to write 4 pages for the Times, like a big pull-out in the magazine. His music journalist, like proper old school. Look, Cliff Richard glasses, kind of like older than me, kind of jobbing kind of musician and music journalist. Kind of managed to get like 4 pages out of like literally one question about asking whether he can still sing about his roots when he's a multi-millionaire. A question he's been asked a million times, but I asked about that situation. Are you looking forward to getting back to London? Because last time he had the plug pulled on, he was like, he liked my question because it was a softball one.
Yeah,
and you can't you've got an outstretched dictaphone at the end in a sea of Italian journalists asking him about his Italian heritage. You got to make it count. You got to just give him a nice
I like that
question.
Bruce Springsteen looks down to you, quite literally looking down on you, and saying, "That man there, I'm pleased to see him because he's only going to give me the softest of soapings."
He's not going to ask me about my Italian grandfather.
Nah.
He's not going to ask me about being rich and out of touch.
He's going to ask me what my favourite Mad Caddy song is.
Exactly.
He's going to ask me what my favourite flavour of Haribo is.
Oh my God, you absolutely did me. There's been a video going around where somebody has basically taken their brother or sister, I think their brother's text to them, and used AI to create like an emo,
brilliant.
Like Midwest
so
emo songs out of it.
Yeah,
and I think you posted it on Instagram. And my God, there's no greater diss that some of your favourite music can be aped so readily and easily by a computer. Like, it sounds so accurate and so good. But it's not real. It's not real music. But
it is real if you can listen to it and enjoy it.
I make me on. Beautiful.
There's a whole load of them, though. There's a whole load of different ones, like different genres and stuff. But going back to the boss and his long concerts, he has released a live album back in 2017 of a show that he did, which is the longest concert he's done, I think. And it's there's a whole record of it, and it's 4 hours and 6 minutes, 33 songs in length.
Yeah. Amazing. I mean, he wasn't sound checking even for his proper show in Oslo. It was the start of his Wrecking Ball tour, which isn't a bad album actually. Wrecking Ball, the song's pretty good, and he ended up doing about cracking on for 3 hours in that.
This concert is from that same tour apparently.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So he ended up doing 3 hours.
Helsinki. Yeah.
But he also did an acoustic set when people were coming into the auditorium. Like, absolutely batshit
insatiable for the performance.
Insatiable. Absolutely, mad.
At least I suppose if you're going to pay through the nose of for a show,
well worth paying it. Yeah,
you're going to get your money's worth.
Yeah.
And obviously you get to see Silvio Dante as well on stage. So
is that
Little Stephen?
Not Gus Van Sant? What's his
Stephen
name?
Van Zandt. Yeah,
Stephen Van
Similar
Sant.
name. Very different man.
Well, he was obviously in the TV show. Is it Lilyhammer?
He was.
And obviously, I think that's set in Oslo. Is it? Is it set in?
It's set in Lilyhammer, Pete. Hence the name.
Yeah, but where is Lilyhammer?
It's in Norway. It's in Norway.
Is that in Norway? Right. Okay. Yeah. Fine. So he was obviously, one might suggest, a bigger star than Bruce Springsteen. So he was. We were in the same hotel as Sant, and people were just fucking losing their loaf because he was obviously a big star because he was in the TV show Lilyhammer.
But I think it's also because he was one of the main people in Sopranos.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. But I mean, yeah.
He was Silvio Dante in The Sopranos, man. Come on.
I know, yeah, fine. He looks like a little gargoyle.
Yeah, I wonder, actually. I mean, I've not seen him in anything other than The Sopranos. I'm not going to judge him on this because I think Silvio Dante's a
thin performer.
He's a great character.
and he's
I don't think he's. I'm not sure he's an amazing actor.
No, he's not.
I think you can kind of in The Sopranos, you kind of forgive it because there's so many heavyweight performances. It actually is a little bit light. You're not overwhelmed by the fucking chewing of the scenery, right? But like Silvio, because it's funny because I think in the Sopranos, Stephen Van Zandt plays Silvio, and I think his actual wife plays his wife, and she's not an actor either. So it's kind of interesting, the dynamic.
Fantastic. What a lovely little bit of work. All right then. Shall we get out of here?
Yeah, let's go. Why not? Let's go.
We've
out
been in the
here.
Luke and Pete Show. We've been in the Luke and Pete Show gang. You can come into the Luke and Pete Show gang by we've got to basically grab your arm and twist it.
Chinese burn.
Basically to give you a Chinese burn before you can enter the gang. But that's the only entry restriction we've got for the club.
But you can't be in if you cry after the Chinese burn, right?
Exactly. You've got to be a big strong boy. Hello@lukepeatshow.com is the way to get in touch on the emails, and we'll see you on Monday.